Y'all, what's good? Welcome to the stew, man. Fam North.
Volcano Beach.
Purple Spells.
Y'all, what's up, man?
What up with you, man? Chilling.
Chilling, man. Enjoying this nice little weather.
This weather is perfect, man. I like this weather. I don't like no hotter, no colder. Like, even though, like I was just saying to myself, because man, I put on a fresh pair the other day. I'm like, man, I'm wearing every pair in the closet this year, fam. This is stupid. This is stupid. So I can't wait till summertime because I'm wearing every pair in the closet, fam. This is dumb. I spend like on one hand though, it's kind of not dumb because like I don't display my shoes and shit and put them in like cases so people can see them or like I don't. I buy them for me. I don't even wear them. I just buy them because I want them. So on one hand,
you got them.
It kind of not dumb because like I just bought them because I like them, but I don't even be wearing shit. That's dumb. So
Well, you always working too, though, G. So
yeah, that too. Nah, I said I'm gonna even stop looking like I'm going to the grocery store. Fuck it, throw a pair on. Throw a pair on. Why not, fam? Somebody got a barbecue. I'm throwing a pair on. I'm gonna walk through the grass, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna throw a pair on, fam. Like
that's what's up.
I already spent the bread, so why not?
That's true. That's true. Anything interesting that you did this week?
Honestly, man, I've been cooling, really, man. Just grinding. I got back to trying to re-put things back together, man. I was telling you, I didn't like that SPL big, so I'm boxing that joint up. Like it's on its way back tomorrow.
Okay.
It just wasn't for me. I don't think it's for like a stereo image.
Okay.
I think it's more
Mono
for like
sound?
No, I wouldn't say mono sound, but it doesn't do what I want like a stereo image to do.
Okay, I got you.
It's more about moving things to the front and the back. I'm trying to add space and width.
So it's more of a focus now.
Yeah, it's more like focus.
Got
Which is cool though. Cause like to be honest, I was trying to build stuff to like not get a fusion. So to have that and a fusion together probably is dope.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you could add width with the fusion and put like middle focus with that. So
that can actually be used for a mastering trick then.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Especially like getting a 2-track where you ain't got no control over.
So that now that got me thinking of the Isotope, what they focus that they have. We can even talk about the who else got one like that? It's from Abbey Road. Abbey Road got the little mastering plug-in they got on the first unit, which is the input.
Right.
If you go to MS mid-side mode, what you can do is with the mid-side, when you tweak out just the middle, that's you actually pushing up the vocals. And I learned that watching this female. She was a mastering engineer, and she was using that's one of her main plugins that she used. The Abbey Road. What is it? I think it's the Abbey Road TG, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The first input, she switches to mid side, and she messes with the middle, the mid volume, the input, and it pushes up whatever's in the middle. It brought out the vocals more. I thought that was dope. I thought that was dope. So now you telling me that, like, I feel like that's what that is. It's focusing on that in a sense. That's probably not what they meant to build it for, but now it's like it can be used.
But then again, it might be. It's just it wasn't my usage for it.
Facts.
I'm
you
trying
was looking for something else. You was looking for that stereo.
I'm looking at
image.
I'm looking at it wrong. Cause like even when I'm using a Fusion, the Fusion don't really give me what I want. The only thing that really gives me what I want is the Master Desk
from Plug-in Alliance.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So I'm like, cause what I'm trying to do is just like print everything analog and like not just print when I go back in the DAW. So I just realized that I'm just not gonna be able to do that. I'm just gonna be able to record through the last Master Desk to get me my desired result. You know what I'm saying?
Our tape machine that we got in there.
Yeah.
When we had the control room in here, I used to always print through the tape machine.
Okay.
And what it did was, it didn't really give me the stereo feel, but it gave me the thickness.
Okay.
But like I said, it didn't give me the stereo feel though.
Right.
So everything still felt mono, but it was up close.
Right.
So I get you on that. Like
if that's giving me my desired result, I'm just gonna convert my thinking and just like, okay, cool. Because technically, to be real, what's gonna work better, a hardware unit for some stereo imaging stuff or a plug-in? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was just trying to stay out of the box 100%. Feel me?
That's why I use Ozone Imager.
Yeah, Ozone Imager.
And then I go through the Focus, not the Focus, right? The Fusion.
Well, let me backtrack. Ozone Imager is the thing that I need to use the most. But I just like the BX joint because I'm getting texture and that. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Now, do you do mid-side with that, or you just...
Nah, I don't like doing mid-side.
Okay.
Nah.
Why you don't like doing mid-side?
I guess that's why I like the iZotope, because the iZotope, the new iZotope, and that's another thing too.
The 10
That's what made me, the new Ozone.
Okay.
That's what made me realize, like, okay, dude, return this shit. You haven't even really dug into the new Ozone yet that's solving them problems that you, because like what the problem is when you make something wide, you lose in the middle, because I don't really like MS. So when I'm doing something too wide, I'm losing the middle, but the new Ozone bring those transients back up.
That's funny you say that though.
I need to start using it more, man.
Yeah, like
I just haven't used it enough to master it. That's all.
Yeah, that's my go-to right there. And it's just that Imager for me. What I was taught was just a little, like, if I hear just a little bit of it, I'm done.
Right.
I don't need to go as far as that. You know what I'm saying? I got it from where it was at. It's here. Okay, let me get it a little bit. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, you're right, because that's all it should be, because you should be mixing it to have depth anyway, and then just adding a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just converting my thinking, like I said, because to be honest, like, I'm selling all my pieces. I could just buy a Fusion, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, nah, not really, man, because like my I ain't gonna say I got a problem with the Fusion, but the Fusion don't give me what I want 100%. Like, the idea of it is dope because it's all of those pieces in one. But when it comes to the Imager part, that's really the only part, in my opinion. All the other parts of the Fusion, we could replicate with that with some other gear we got. But all those pieces together plus an Imager, that's what takes it to another level. But if the Imager ain't really giving me what I want, and I'd rather get it from Ozone, I might as well just bypass that whole process.
I feel you.
You feel what I'm saying?
Like,
so
I definitely would love to take our Fusion, and I would love to put it on one of our live gigs just to see what will it do. Like, I know what it can do in the studio.
Right.
Live is, to me, live is different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you think about it, if your sub is coming down, it's online, and you going into the Fusion and you going left and right, that sub is gone from your main PA left and right, because you on, unless you gonna split another signal, because I think the Fusion, that's only 2 in, 2 out.
Yeah, it's just 2 in, 2 out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I just want to see, will it?
Yeah, you'll have to split it before you go up there, because
that's true.
Because you got to think, if you widen it, then it's gonna phase out. Your low end gonna sound weird. So you got to split it and just use the Fusion on the top end.
Yep.
So,
and that'll actually be dope though, because now I feel like you're separating that top from that bottom even more.
Right.
Because you're not even gonna use the bottom on the Fusion, or will you? You know, because I like to throw the 30 hertz on my vocals, because it does give it a little, just a little thickness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would love to see how that would play out, man. I think that'll be dope.
It's just, and too, man, I realized too, man, I'm just gonna stop buying stuff, certain things, because I realized something, man. I guess it could be my topic. I went to Philharmonic Studio yesterday, man.
Oh shit, how was it?
For like an Atmos event. man, that shit was nuts. Like,
what was like the key thing that you took away? Like, okay,
the construction is
that.
dude. Well, I ain't gonna gonna try, because if you probably put like $500,000 like into just like the acoustics in there, it was nuts, bro. Like just put it to you like this: the reason, like my bucket list studios, and like for me, it's like Blackbird, because they got the coldest mic collection.
They do,
and all the stuff that been recorded there, and then Skywalker.
Don't they got their own reverb room?
Yeah, they probably do got a chamber. Yeah, and then Skywalker, because like that's where everybody go to record orchestras and all that. I believe he built a baby Skywalker room, fam. That's how dope his live room is. I can see you putting 26-piece strings in there recording for how the room is constructed. He did a phenomenal job. So that was dope. He had a piano, Steingraber or some Graber. It sounded phenomenal. It just a lot of stuff, like a few things, man. Like he just, like I ain't never been in no studio in Chicago that felt like that. It felt like we was like, it felt like those high-end studios.
And I really feel like that's what separates a lot of these studios from each other. The owner of these studios, they want a certain sound coming out their studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they know what pieces they want.
Yeah.
And it's like it hits on the head every time. You know when you're in here and you're going to record an album, you know what the sound you're going to get.
Right.
Just like, may he rest in peace, what was it, Albini, I think it was?
Yeah, Steve Albini.
Yeah, Steve Albini. Like when you went to that studio, like
right.
we did a gig there.
Right.
Just to be able to walk, like dude gave us a tour of it. It was like, yo,
right.
Everything was analog.
Right.
You know what sound you gonna get coming out that bad boy, you know? And I think that's where we lose a lot of that now, you know, because we're in a digital world now.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody, and that's what makes producers and engineers stand out, the tools that you use to create your sound that you want. You just put me on Adrian Young.
Right.
Right? Like everything in his studio was analog. And he said he knew that in the 90s what his sound was going to be for the rest of his life.
Right.
Because that digital recorder wasn't giving him the sound he wanted. So I feel like it just goes back to knowing what you want. When you know what you want, you know the tools you need to create that. And that's your niche, that's your sound, you know what I mean?
Right. Yep. So yeah, that, and they primarily, I believe that's what they really promote up there. Like they promote being a orchestral studio. So they really promote it. I guess they record a lot of it, like big band stuff. That's not orchestral, but they record a lot of big band stuff. It's nice there, man. Like it's super nice. They got it's a B room that's got well now I'm thinking it's 3 rooms. That's nice. You got A, B, and C. So the C's got the Atmos system in it.
Okay.
The Atmos system was all ATCs. Like it was nice. It was so loud in there though. It was crazy. Cause like he had basically ATC helped build like all the speakers in the studio is all ATC. So it was dope, man. But like his A room made me realize something, especially being a live sound engineer. When you in a studio, we hearing like, because I would say I'm more of a producer than a mix engineer. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, so what I'm saying is what I meant when I said I'm gonna stop buying a lot of shit and just save and just buy like those higher end studio speakers, fam. Like, cause I'm never gonna get the sound I want until you get those. Because being a live sound engineer, you know the difference. Like when you sound, even if it's just point source, it's not hung, just like regular speakers in the sub. When we tune and shit, we listening, and it's just a thing that happens over time. Yes, when I'm in a studio, I would rather not listen loud, but I'm used to being out where that each side is throwing out 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 watts. How could I not be loud? You know what I'm saying? How could I not listen loud? Even if I'm just tuning the system and I'm standing not too close to the speakers, it's still loud in the room. Just think about this for a second. You ever been like setting up a sound system and you was kind of loud or whatever, or you see people looking like, damn, he kind of loud. Think about it. Your studio speakers can't even get that loud. So that means we used to listening to shit loud.
Yeah.
If you do live sound, you used to listening to stuff loud.
Yeah.
So like, I feel it sometimes like I don't feel shit in the studio no more like I used to.
I feel you on that.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So if it's gonna take for me to buy those big boys, and we never gonna have to buy speakers ever again. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They could be used from like 2005, whatever, but long as it's
Just
on that level.
Yeah.
Like those Osburgers we saw in New York. LA. Think about it. Like, you could probably get a pair of those used for like 15 G's. We can sell all the speakers we got. That's one side right there. Like, it ain't as far away as it seemed like it is. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or them big focals.
The three-ways?
Yeah, the 3-ways. You ain't even got to go to Osberger route. Them focals is only like 8 G's.
I would love to go to Osberger route though,
but
because like you said, that's just a higher level. You know what I mean? Like the Focusrite's focals. Why I keep saying Focusrite? But anyway, the focals, they're good. They're at a certain level, but we've been at that level. We need that level higher. And the reason why I say we've been at that level, because we've been in rooms mixing off those.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we've been there. When I went to LA off those Osbergers, like, it was a different.
Right.
That was a whole different mix. When I came back to Chicago and I listened to it, it was like, whoa, this is different.
Because you hearing stuff and you getting hit different, because we don't look at it too. The electronics in the amps, all of that play a part into like that signal being as clear as possible so you can hear stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not just because the speaker is loud. It's because the components inside of the speaker are better components. Like, it's like a rabbit hole that we look at like a rabbit hole, but it's really not a rabbit hole. It's really like it's a reason that I look at it like this. I can't be like this one way and not like this all the way. What I mean by that is, I be mad when people be saying plugins, you better. No, you can't afford the $3,000 keyboard. Because soon as you can afford the motherfucker, you going to go buy it. Metro Boomin use MPCs. The best motherfucker in the world, the biggest nigga on the planet, is using MPCs, right? He said, fuck that FL shit, right?
Facts.
Like, so soon as you get to that level when you searching for that sound, you go buy the shit that you people say that the plugins or the emulations can fuck with, but they can't though. You just was settling because that's what we had to settle for when we had to.
And that's
the
what you can
speakers
afford.
is the same though.
Gotcha.
Like, the speakers is the same. We don't want to admit it, or we don't want to be looking like we buying $10,000 speakers, but they better.
Facts.
They got better components in them.
I feel you.
You can hear stuff better.
That's even like when we went to NAMM that one year. Who was it? PMC? PMC, they had their own room in there.
Right.
And we walked in that bad boy, they closed the door, and it was like, the fuck?
Right.
You heard everything.
You heard everything. That's not just like, you ain't just get a good night's sleep that day. You weren't just attentive. No.
Yeah.
You was listening through a speaker that got better components.
Like, it comes down to a point to where when you're in a small studio with small speakers and you're recording, if that person in the booth got their headphones loud, sometimes you won't hear it, right? Imagine if you got barefoots now.
You hear it.
You hear it to where you at a point like, okay, cool, we got to fix this issue to where these headphones is bleeding in there so we can get a cleaner signal.
And just think about that. And even like, and if you're not hearing it through your whole recording mixing process, that's just phasing out your vocals and like just not letting you get them to the optimal spot that you can get them to because you ain't hearing the issues.
You're not hearing
because you done went through the whole process on speakers that you can't hear the issues on.
You're covering it up.
So
But then again, that just proves to show how the industry was like, yo, let's let these home studio makers, let's build something for them.
Yeah.
So they can have a studio too. Because rather than that, it was, or you going to be buying these Barefoots at $10,000 a speaker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I was with this dude. He was like, he had the same speakers, that big stack of ATCs I showed you. He's like, he got the same one. He said, I didn't buy the subs, but I got the same speakers. He's like, man, these sound way brighter than mine. He said, but I didn't spend $300,000 to get the room right though, like he did. So I guess this is how the speaker's supposed to sound.
Now, the question I would ask him is, now since you heard that, are you gonna pay that money? That's just like you saying you just heard the speakers, so now it's like, am I gonna pay that money to
It's
get
time.
that sound?
Yeah, I want it. Like, to be honest, I want large, because we was already talking about some Barefoots and all that, so we was already thinking about going higher level on the speakers. But now it's not. I think it's something that needs to be done now because you got to think, like, sometimes when you doing stuff like that, so put it to you like this. Everything you do is an investment, right? So it's an investment because I don't think I'm gonna be a mechanic next week or like start cooking and be a chef in 3 years. No, I'm gonna be doing this 5 years from now. So why not buy a speaker or some speakers that I'm not gonna have to worry about buying again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just like the same thing with the microphones. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep buying clones,
Right?
You're just gonna buy the real thing.
Or you could just buy the real thing one time, and you don't have to worry about it, fam.
Same thing with the plugins. Like that. That's going to be a forever ending battle. Like, you know, my plugins can get the job done.
No, they can't.
Okay, cool. So if they can, why you still having problems with your sound? You know what I mean? Like that's what I would tell people.
And two, if they can, why when your favorite artists become something, they not using plugins no more. They send them to the real studios now after money get behind them. If that was the case, like, think about it for a second. Like if I could still keep recording you in your basement and still be a product that is optimal, why would I change it? No, it's not at its optimal. It was what you had to do at that time. So I wish, like, and it's so crazy, man, when you talk to people and say this stuff, like, unless it's somebody who, I wouldn't even say somebody who into this for real, because sometimes people who into it, they still caught in the matrix thinking like, we anti. Like, no, it's no anti. It was never anti. Only people that was talking to anti shit is because they felt bad because they couldn't buy the shit, fam. Like, that's it. Like, it's really no other way to say it. Like, how can it be another way to say it? Like you telling me everybody that I know that was just the little motherfucker who had a laptop that became somebody got a room full of analog stuff when they could afford it. Why do they do that? You explain that to me then. Like not your little so-and-so who getting jerked, who making all the beats for everybody and ain't getting no money for it. No. We talking about anybody who becomes successful. They got a room full of analog after they've been in the industry for 10 years. No matter what genre it is. It doesn't matter the genre. It doesn't matter, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I say, at the end of the day, Metro Boomin is using MPC. He using the 2000 XL too. He not even using like the new MPCs. No, he's using the 2000 XL. So he's not even using the best MPCs, and he sees the difference.
He using what works for him.
But it's still giving him a sound that he got to work for in his plug-in. Because it's not a digital audio. No. It's a getting the fuck off the computer thing. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, they look at it like it's an analog versus. No, these is digital pieces we talking about. No, but that digital piece got his own A to D in it that the whole rest of his goddamn system ain't using.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at everything like that, man. Like, okay, cool. The same way I got every Moog clone plug-in. I probably didn't bought and sold every Moog clone piece of gear. Why did I still buy a Moog? Why do I still got one? Because don't nothing sound like it, fam. Don't nothing sound like it. No matter what I do, I like using my plugins more because with a real mode, you can't go through patches. Like, you can't say, man, I like that, but if let me save it next. No, I ain't no saving it. Like, I'd be mad sometimes when I be like, damn, that bass patch nasty, but I want to get a lead off this motherfucker or like a little other type of sound, and I gotta undo this patch now. It's all analog. Like, ain't no saving. Like, so it's one sound at a time.
So you just pretty much better know what you're doing.
Better, yeah. So now I gotta recreate it, and it ain't never gonna be exactly the same as it was.
Yeah.
So that's the only drawback that I don't like about like my like fully analog synth. Like, I really ain't got no. Only got like just the mini mode and the Roland joint. Them the only two. Oh, and the grandmother. Them the only ones I got that's fully analog that I can't save nothing on. So, but yeah, I hate working on those. I love working on them because they take you in a direction. Like, we were just looking at what Adrian Young was saying. I know exactly what he's saying. How the instrument tell you which way to go. Your 3,000 patches on your DAW don't tell you which way to go.
Oh, no.
But like, you playing around with this thing and just turning this knob instead of this one, you just took that way now instead of going that way.
That's the same reason why I feel like we bought the Neve Summit mixer, because we wanted that analog sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We always had analog gear, so it was always a hybrid situation for us, but I felt like it's just now, like, even your workflow when you produce, it's mostly analog.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm trying to create that same feel in the studio, to where I'm trying to use less plugins.
Right.
Because don't get me wrong though, we are in a digital world right now, but it's like when you use those plugins, at least for me, and when I take off that, let's say I'm filtering, yes, I'm putting that vocal in the pocket, but now I just lost some body. So now I need to bring those mids back. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where my warm 30 hertz come in. I just brought it back. So for me, I'm going to always be a analog baby. I feel it just feels good, man. You can hear that digital. Like, you can
hear it. Like,
you can hear it.
And that's the thing though. Like, it's certain things, like, I'm not even one of those people where I don't got a super precise ear. So it's stuff that I don't catch. But so when it's people that don't hear that at all though, I'm like, what the hell are you listening? Like, you need to start really paying attention to what you're listening to, because I'm somebody who ain't even precise like that, and I can hear the difference. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like.
But then I guess that's why they got all these tools out now, so you can be able to, if you can't hear it, you'll be able to look at your analyzer tool and be like, oh, okay, that's sticking out. Let me see if I dip that, how that feels. Okay, cool.
Right.
So now it's more, like, I think we do, like, we're in a world where we're listening and we also visually looking at our analyzer tools and making decisions like that. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to the
I be thinking sometimes though, is that a good thing or a bad one, man? Because like, we not using our ears 100%.
Exactly.
We looking at shit,
and
our ears validate everything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, our eyes will tell you like you right then a motherfucker. It can sound wrong as hell.
Wrong as hell, bro. Wrong as hell. I was just at a gig to where I seen somebody using the Smart tool. You know what I'm saying? And then in my mind, I'm thinking like, by you looking at this, what's right to you? Or is it just a graph to show you if a frequency pop out, what to contain?
Right.
At that sense, you know what I mean? Because I just felt like to be like, okay, cool. Like, I keep seeing this low end is higher than everything else. Was that your curve tool you was looking for? Was you looking for that 80, that 63, that 50, that 40 to be at +3 and everything else to be at 0? You know what I'm saying? So like,
that makes sense though, to be honest, because like when you think about just like us is like how we process sound. you got to boost a lot more in the low end for it to be like unbearable and not want us to hear it than you do in the high end. So let's say a 3 dB boost at 60 hertz or 80 or 90 ain't gonna be the same as a 3 dB boost at like 8K though. You be ready like, what the fuck? Turn that off.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of weird. I noticed that too when I be looking at. I noticed that when I'm looking at like a RTA on like my, like the same way like you were saying, like using the smart or like just any like measurement mic to catch what's going on in the room. I try not to like be so gun ho about like killing the lows so crazy because the lows is supposed to like, it takes a lot more lows to be
fill up the room.
Yeah, to fill up the room and to make us feel like, man, that's way too much. It takes a lot more than to do high end. We do have to. We got to curtail the high end. Let's know it ain't like great mixes or not even just mixes, but like a great room. It's not really even. It's knowing where to dip on the high end, because if you listen to something that's straight linear, that's not going to sound all that. You want some of that high end to go away, just how high end works to our ears. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you want some of that ass to pump up. You don't want no straight flat. How that's going to sound? Like, we want more low and less high. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, just like thinking about analyzers like that, or just like analyzing signal, like with measurement mics.
True. Yeah, true. Like it is, like I said, that was one of my biggest questions yesterday. Like, what I know everybody will have different perspectives on why they use the tool and what they're looking for. One of my biggest questions was just like, what are you looking for? You know what I mean? Like, what I was told was some people actually do have a curve that they want to see inside of Smart to know that their system is right, and then they play back a song. And if that song matched that curve, it's like, all right, that's what I was looking for. We're good to go. You know what I mean? So now let's get the show on the road. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was dope. Now my thing is implementing the live sound into that rack with the Smart. You know, using that fusion for my master to curve the whole house. How would that? I just want to hear how the fusion is sound in the house. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah,
I do, man. I feel like it's gonna be a big difference just because it's analog, and you don't see that. Well, I don't see that on the gigs I've been on.
Nah,
I don't see nobody with hardware. But when I was at Horseshoe, when I used to work at Horseshoe, oh my God, man, Jill Scott, her front of house engineer. Man, bro, they had 3 racks just full of outboard gear. Man, it was beautiful, bro. But it sounded like, man, it sounded good.
Man, how long it take to put that damn rack? I mean, that that rig together.
Well,
that's the problem.
Well, the thing was, though, it was each rack had its own splitter in the back. Well, let's say it had its own tail in the back. So you got 3 racks. Probably each rack mount probably had top to bottom. It was probably the mini one like these. 3 of these filled top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? And it just had a nice tail coming out. It was good, bro. The hardest part was getting that shit up the stairs, though. Because, you know, at the Horseshoe, they got the elevator, but then you got to carry it down the stairs to front of house. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Horseshoe, for that. We got our weights lifted that day.
Right.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was dope working at the Horseshoe, though, being able to see, man, I seen a lot, man. A lot of the Motown guys use the Avalon DI box. I think it was the M5.
Okay.
Like, that's the bass player. Oh, yeah, that was it. That's what he used. every Motown, and when I say Motown, I'm talking to OJ's, Temptation, Avant, Genuine. They band like Avalon, M5, DI Box. Beautiful. But I know why. Like, it just felt good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you heard the top on that bass. To where some bass you didn't hear the top, man. You heard the top on that bass. It was nice.
Yeah, it's dope.
It was nice, bro. It's nice to be able to experience what was before we started.
Right.
Because then it's like analog never failed. It never failed. If they still using it to this day, it never failed.
Especially pieces made 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it still works to today.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yep.
Real quick, man, I want to know y'all favorite plugins for vocals, man. Let us know your chain, you know what I'm saying? Put it in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all chain is, and we'll share our chain with y'all. But yeah, man, definitely would love to hear that Fusion live, man. Matter of fact, we gonna hear that Fusion live. Who's gonna be the lucky client?
Right.
Or we might just have to throw a show just to do it. Like, yeah, that's it right there, man.
Right. Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
Yeah, man. Man, we got a couple of nice pieces that we really don't use in the studio that we can put in a rack. We got the SSL bus clone. We got a couple of DBXs. That Summon, because I don't use the Summon as much now because I'm using the Fusion. Because I record in with the Fusion too. So it's like that's giving me my analog. Now it'd have been different if I had drums, then I would use the Summon to get all the drums to come in.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm thinking about putting a drum kit in my basement, man. I'm starting to like just want to be like more musical about shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about putting a drum set in my basement.
Like you said, you feel more like a producer than a mixing engineer.
Oh yeah, definitely,
you know
all day, every day.
So I would definitely, I definitely see you in there doing that, especially because you already do sound kits.
Right.
So to be able to come from scratch, that's even better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I realized that like I ain't gonna say like you ever lose the skill, but like I haven't been miking drums to record in a long time, Joe.
I feel you, bro.
Like so, yeah, just the practice of it, just keeping myself sharp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keeping your ears right to how you want your drums to sound when you do a live gig.
Yep.
Because if you only get to do it when you at a live gig, it's not like you got time to shape.
Right.
But being able to shape and place and knowing EQ and compression that you want on it, it's a real simple fix.
Right.
A real simple fix. One thing that I was always taught was get it right at the source. That's why when I record, I mix. I feel like if I get it right at the source, everything else fall in play. So, yeah, I use about 3 EQs when I record in if you're going to count the Fusion. Because I use both warms, and then the Fusion is the last thing that it touched. So, yeah, I definitely I definitely feel that, man.
Yep.
So, man, I definitely wanted to get into just a little bit more talk about this live sound and your perspective on when you do live sound. And I think we talked about this already, but I feel like it's festival season right now. So you doing an outdoor gig, you know, what's the first thing? How are you tuning your outside rigs?
To be honest, I haven't really mixed too much like big outside festival stuff.
Okay.
So I believe like in that situation though, like your sweet spot is way more important.
Okay.
Than like inside of a room because it's bouncing, you hearing stuff. But outside, it's just going into the distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if it's big enough, because I've mixed outside, but just like not super big, like Lollapalooza big. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
where it's bouncing off buildings and coming back. Like, nah, I ain't never done nothing like that. So I believe your sweet spot is really important, and headphones you trust are really important too.
Now, why you say headphones?
Because, like, technically we should be mixing with headphones more than we do. But a lot of times we may not be in a situation where we in front of the speakers. We may be on an iPad or something, not by the rig. Because the mark of a great engineer and a great mix is like trying to make the mix sound as close to how it sounds on some headphones.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're not out in front of the speakers, how can you do that? You on the side or the front of the house somewhere else and you got an iPad. You know what I'm saying? So in that situation, big outside stuff, yeah, like headphones is really important. Even a pair of speakers right there is fine, but you still affected by the world. Nah, a pair of headphones back and forth, because I experienced that just in big rooms. Headphones back and forth, seeing, okay, how the better I can get my mix to sound and how it sounds in these headphones out of these speakers. Or not the better, my bad. The closer I get those two. Because you get what I'm saying? Because you do something to one, it's going to affect the other.
True.
But the closer you can get those two, they never going to be exactly the same. Because obviously this speaker's on your ear and that one's up there. But the closer you can get those to sounding the same, the closer you are to having a great mix.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I believe, like, yeah, that's important. Like the actual sweet spot, the spot you mixing in, and the headphones you using.
Okay. I did a gig on Monday. I was at a cemetery. And the only thing we really had was keyboard and 3 vocals. No sub. But when I was playing back my reference, the placement of my speakers was huge. If I walk down not even the placement, and also knowing the coverage of your speaker.
Right.
Because my middle was combed out. It was combed out. And then when I turned the speakers towards the middle, because the speakers was out, like I had a section here. Let's say I had a section here. Here's my middle, and a section all the way over here. So if this speaker was turned out that way to cover that whole section, and this speaker was turned out this way to cover that whole section, when I walked down the middle, it was thin. So it was like, all right, my coverage stopped right here, and I'm walking right here. You heard that dip. You heard the dip. So I'm like, okay, let me turn my speaker in more. So as I turned them in more, like I got my coverage back. But it was like what I was missing was a front field. One front field would have solved that middle coverage.
Yeah, my front field is clutch, man. My front field, I make it do a lot more than I used to in the past.
Okay. Explain.
Because, like I say, we're gonna go past that this time. Like my front, cause at the end of the day, the wider and the bigger this place is, you hanging speakers, look how important your front fields are. When you hanging them, the stage here, speakers 5 feet that way. Your front fields is really important. So I just like being in more situations like that made me think, because at first I was just looking at front fields as just what it is, just to fill up sound in the middle. But nah, the front field is way more important than we give it. Because, like, even when you're 100 feet from the damn speakers, the front field is still, like, yeah, how your arrays work is beams of sound or whatever that you focus or whatever with the, that's the newer technology. They got precise control over this. But you focusing beams of sound with the degree of the boxes. But those front fields are still there, pushing straight forward.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think on a large scale every time now is what I mean.
Yeah, and you know what? Just off the fact that you mentioned that, like, I feel like I always want, no matter where I'm at now, I always want to be able to have a front field because that right there taught me a big lesson. It sounded good, but it could have been better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it sounded great, but that front field would have made it that experience way better. So that goes back to knowing, uh, uh, and I think we were talking about this earlier, knowing our space that we're mixing in to understand the coverage that we need to make sure it's a full sound. Not to say that I didn't have a full sound. I mean, we was at a cemetery, you know what I'm saying? It was keys and 3 microphones, but it was like still being able to provide that sound for those people to where it was like, yo, I didn't miss a beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You heard everything in this area, and this area. You know what I mean? So it's like my biggest thing moving forward is what am I covering? And what speakers am I using so I can know that coverage?
Right.
It's definitely gonna help. Like, that's something that I learned this past week, which would be dope because now we're doing a Puerto Rican parade on the 8th. So to be able to go back outside knowing what I lacked at now it's like, all right, cool. We're gonna get some front fields now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make sure we're full and we're good.
Right.
Yeah, so that's something that I learned this week, as far as just the coverage and the area that you in, man. We gotta make sure we're covering every aspect, but also knowing the room that we mixing in.
Right.
To give them that full experience, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Come on, you as a sound engineer, we gonna always get it to where they're gonna say, "Oh, I can't hear this." I don't want to hear that. I want to be able to be like, "Man, can you turn that down? It's kind of loud."
Right.
Gotcha. Tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can't hear.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Don't tell me you can't hear. Tell me you want me to turn it down because it's too much for you. You know what I'm saying? And of course the front row gonna always get blasted. But to be able to just like you said, it goes with the raise. You know what I'm saying? With these speakers now, you got 2 holes, and those holes is at a certain degree. You know what I mean? You gonna get your bend to where you ain't trying to throw as far, or you gonna go straight up to where you trying to throw far. Those are only 2 options. But if you know your coverage, you know what speakers you want to use, because your speakers that you're using gonna give you a certain amount of coverage. Even from when you picking your front fields, you know what I'm saying? Like the front fields sit flat, but if it's if it's an 8-inch driver, it's only going so far to where a 10-inch driver might be more narrow and your 8-inch might be more wider.
Right.
So it's like knowing your speaker, knowing its coverage, knowing your room size, man, you know what you need.
Right.
You know how to prepare for your event. But if you just like, oh, just give me these, I'll be good. Nah, do it right. As an engineer, do it right. As a tech man, do it right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like just prepare. Like it just taught me to be more prepared for what we doing in that sense.
Yeah, sure.
Do you got a favorite pair of speakers you like to use when you go out?
Yeah, I like no, not really, honestly, man. It's like it's according to what they got. I gotta make it work. I do like the L Acoustics though. I do like those. The what is that? The K series?
I've yet to mix some L Acoustics, man.
Yeah, they sound good. I like them. I like them.
That day is coming.
Yeah, when you flying them arcs or the K's, they still, like you say, you gotta have a strong. You still gotta have a strong front field.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm learning that, man. But I also found out that the 8s, they throw farther than the 10s. Yep, they throw farther than the 10s, and I think the 10s are just wider,
Okay.
but the 8s go farther. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I would have thought the 10s went farther because it's a 10-inch driver. Right. It's like, nah, the 10s is just wider. So that's good to know.
Fills up more space.
Yeah, but that goes back to like, I only mix vocals in the studio off a 4-inch driver because of the mids.
Okay.
Anything 5 and below is good for vocals. Your 8s, it makes the vocals sound like they in front, but it's a wider tone that you're listening to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in the studio and your placement, because you know how we always have our speakers pretty close to us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot plays into that, man. Yeah, but I love doing the sound outdoor, man. It's dope, man. Like, I took out our QSC sub, the Dual 18.
Yeah, it's a monster, man. That thing's a monster, bro.
I had to turn that joint down.
I can imagine.
I was the stage
I wish we got
was
two
shaking.
of the 212s.
The stage
because of just
shaking.
the size, just the coverage. But that mic's a monster, though, man.
I could imagine having 2 of those, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. To have 2 of those, we would have to have 4 tops.
Yeah.
2 on each side, because the bass is it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Yeah,
you got to think about that, like because we lucky that we not running like straight amps with that, or like just straight out, because the wattage of that amp, what's it, 3600?
Yep.
So that's what, 30 amps, but we only running an eighth.
Wow. Really?
It only gives you an eighth of the power. You only running an eighth. So an eighth of that is like, so that one box is like taking up almost 4 amps of a circuit.
What?
See what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
So yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like, so imagine if we was really getting all the power out of that, what did it be like?
Oh my God. Now I want to hear it full.
Like, I don't even think it could go 100% full. Like,
so
that's why it's so crazy when people be blowing out speakers. I don't even understand how you do that, man. Like why are you doing this? You see what the speaker can take, because like at the end of the day, no matter how hard the amp is, the cone can only move so much.
That's true.
Now you saw that was about to break and you still broke it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's why I turned down the sub, because I'm like, okay, like I heard the DJ, like all the speakers was on the stage, nobody was on the stage. The DJ was to the right of the stage. I set up to the left of the stage, so nobody was on the stage. So I'm hearing this sub just woo, woo, woo. I go on stage. Soon as I get on the stage from the back, it's just shaking. The stage is just shaking, bro. I'm like, bro, let me turn this up down, man. Let me turn this up down. I enjoyed that QSC, bro. I love that sub.
Yeah, that thing is nice, man.
I love it, man. Dual 18s in there?
Yeah, I think it is. Yep.
Man, beautiful.
Yep.
I love it, man. But yeah, I did feel like them tops was perfect for it too. Had a nice throw and everything, man. It's like the more and more we do the live sound, the more and more tips and tricks we learn with the systems that we got. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I've yet to take the Mackie joints out.
Yeah, I like the sound of the Mackies more, because a lot of the high end stuff you killing in the QSCs, you don't have to worry about on the Mackies. They just not as powerful. They like 2/5 of the power. Well, not like 3/5 of the power.
Those Mackies would have more mids, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the Mackies we got those 15s.
No, those
12s.
12s.
Those 12s.
They just big. They 12s though.
And they way lighter than the QSCs, bro.
Yeah, they just big. They 12s.
Dang.
I don't even think they make 15s. Like, how big would they be if they made 15s?
Well, I'm thinking of JBLs. JBLs got the 3-way. No, JBLs got the 15s.
Yeah, QSC got 3-way 15s too.
Okay, so I was right. Okay, cool.
153s.
Yeah, JBLs, they got a lot of mids in them for me. A lot of mids. A lot. Yeah. But I guess it's cool. When we went to NAM, that's all they had for the conferences. They had a lot of JBLs up, and I was hearing these people mixing them, and they was glorifying the mids. But I understood why, because you can hear him more compared to always just having that.
Yeah. Yep.
You got more of that. This is what we're doing, which is a good sound.
Right.
Especially when you having something like a TED Talk like that. But I think them TED Talks, they be thin as hell too, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they got to do that because there's speakers all around and they got the mics on. So
that makes sense.
they got to make it so that the head. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when you're using the head microphones, you're just making everything sound bad to make those mics work. What I said I was gonna start doing though is like stop being lazy, like, and use the scenes on a board. So when it's time for somebody to come up with one of those, just turn the next scene on.
Like a snapshot?
Yeah, like a snapshot.
Gotcha.
And then just go to the other snapshot when they get done.
Because
Because you're making everything sound bad just so that you can
just
use
so those
these.
can stick out. Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny you say that because this gig I had on Monday, I had a Omni lavalier mic. Horrible.
Yeah.
Because the wind was blowing so hard, bro. That wind was blowing so hard, and all you heard was the wind.
Yep.
Like, it was just crap. Like, I'm never using that mic in the wind again.
Yeah.
Never. The handhelds was perfect.
Yeah.
The handhelds was perfect. That live, no. That's all you heard.
Especially an Omni one.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. That wind killed me, bro. I was texting the other engineers like, yo, this wind is killing me.
Yeah.
This wind is killing
That kind of happened like a few weeks ago. I just found some like my windscreens was breaking and stuff, so I had to find a way to windscreen it was an Omni too, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So imagine how bad it was. I didn't even have any windscreens on it.
Oh my God.
So I had to make something. You feel what I'm saying?
So was this like, as he was talking, you had to
it
go up
it was
there?
a violin playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had to go find something. But it was like, I noticed it before, so I got it done beforehand.
Okay, bet. So like doing sound check type of vibe. Okay, that's dope. That's dope, man. Well, that's what's up, man. So, yo, this is Stu Podcast, man. We brought to y'all with some live sound tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Told y'all about some analog stuff, plugins. I'm Fam North.
Volcano Beach.
This is Stu. We out. Peace.
Peace.